Hey, AP Computer Science students, we are now going to be creating this exercise. This number 7 is the guessing game, and we're going to go to Bluge and make that happen right away. Making a new class for the guessing game. This one's kind of a fun one because you feel like the computer is a little bit smart. Answering things cleverly, but it's all just smoke and mirrors. It's just math. So we'll start with the import statements. Java.util.scanner, a capital S, just to make it a little bit confusing. We'll put in our class, which is the container for all code in Java, other than import statements, I guess. Class GuessingGame. And then we're going to give it a main method, which is where Java starts. It looks for the main method, even though you can have other kinds of methods. So we'll put in public static void main string args. Okay, Okay, so I guess we're going to start off with our variables. We're going to need a few variables. First of all, our scanner, of course. So we'll make a scanner. I like to call it SC, mostly because those are the first two letters of scanner. And it's also the initials for the best video game of all time, StarCraft. That's right. If you disagree, then, we'll have to agree to disagree. It is going to read from our terminal, so we'll do system.in. We'll also put in a few ints, so we're going to have to generate some kind of answer. That is sort of the random number that the computer has picked. So we are going to make a use of the math.random. Now, this needs to be an integer, right? Between 1 and 100, I believe, is the criteria. So math.random produces a number between 0 and almost 1, 0.999, etc. So what we'll do is we will cast it to an int, but before we do that, we're going to want to multiply this to stretch the range. We'll multiply it by 100, which gives us a random number between 0 and 9.9 repeating. If we cast that to an int with the int casting operator, that'll chop off the decimals, leaving us between 0 and 99. So we'll just add 1 to that to shift it to 1 to 100. And guess what? The casting operator has precedence in the convoluted Java bedmass. So that means we'd better make sure this happens first with some parentheses. Oops, yeah, like that. Technically, you could leave the +1 out of the parentheses. Doesn't really matter. As long as this operation is parentheses, it'll come before the casting operator as a result. Okay, so that should generate our random number. And then you might want to just print that out. So here's a good technique when you're working on something. I know we don't have to do this for the program, but it's good to sort of know that one step is working at a time. If it turned out your answer was wrong, like if you were getting weird answers, then you wouldn't find that out very easily. So I'm just going to confirm that that line of code works. So I'm going to go run this in the thing. I got 10. It's reasonable. It's an expected value. I'll run it again. Hello. There we go. And 70, that seems reasonable. Might do it a few more times just to confirm. You can even put this in a loop and do it a whole bunch of times to just check to see if it works. But I'm gonna, call that good enough. So get rid of that testing code. Shift home. Okay, so I will put in my other variables now. I'm gonna need a guess variable, and I'll want to initialize it to a value that is not a possible answer. If I initialize it to 1, for example, what if answer was 1? And then my guess was already my answer. That's a problem. So I'm going to initialize it to 0 because I can't randomly generate 0 with these numbers here. It just can't ever happen. It's got to be a minimum of 1 because of the +1. So that's good. So already my guess isn't accidentally correct at the beginning. We also need a variable to keep track of how many tries we've made. So tries, we'll start that at 0 as well. We've made no tries at the beginning of the program. So that's our variables we've declared here at the top. Variables. Next, we are going to go ahead and we're going to make some sort of a How shall I say? I guess some kind of a instructions, I guess. So I'm going to put just instructions. So we got to do some printing out, and typing is hard. And I forgot what I'm supposed to say, so why don't I just go steal that right here. I picked a random number. Try to guess it. So I'll just copy and paste that into my program. Bloop. Always got to make the sound effect when you copy and paste. Keep life full of sound effects is my advice. So once we've printed out the instructions, we'll start our game. I don't know what to call it. These are just a game loop, I guess. So basically the things that we're going to repeat are going to be, I guess we're going to ask for a number. So we're going to ask for a number. I guess this is not going to work too well. I'm going to switch to comments. So we're going to ask for a number. And then we're going to check the number. Check the number against the answer and the guessed number, I guess. And then we're going to keep on doing this as long as we have not guessed the answer. So, while the answer or the guess is not equal to the answer, kind of thing. That's sort of my little pseudocode. I'm going to keep on doing this until this isn't true, until when the guess is equal to the answer, that will be false, and they'll bring us out. So that's my plan. So let's start with asking for a number, and then let's start with a while loop. So I'm going to say while the guess is not equal to the number, answer. So what are the things we're going to do? I'm going to print, so I'll just borrow this. Thank you. I don't know if that's actually faster than just typing it, but in my mind it was. So what does it say? Guess a number, something like that. And again, I use print for the prompt so that the answer will appear beside it, just like a command line type of thing, like DOS or command or whatever. So then we'll read it in. So we'll use a scanner. So we'll say guess equals sc.next int to read in that number from the terminal. Next thing we're going to do is compare that number to the answer and give some feedback. So we'll say if answer, we'll say guess. If guess is less than the answer, then why don't we print line, system.out.print line, something along the lines of too low. And then I'm not going to use else here because if it's equal, I don't want it to trigger. So maybe I'll just put another if guess is greater than answer. Then print line too high. Guess ellipses have 3 dots. Okay, so there's my two sort of guess statements. So that should work out nicely. I'll keep on, keep on kind of saying too low, too high. When I eventually get the answer, the loop will stop. And then I'll go on to the next thing, which is sort of our final statement to say, hey, you got it, and this is how many tries it took. I guess in addition, we should also increase the tries variable. So I'm just going to say tries plus plus, which just means add 1 to tries. I'll just do that right here at the top of the loop because it starts at 0. So we'll just set it to 1, and then we'll give them a try. And then if we end up coming back around because the guess wasn't the answer, then it'll count up to 2 and 3 and so on. So then when I go to answer, when I go to say sort of what the answer was at the end, we'll do a print line, and I'll just copy the text from here. Pardon me. Yikes. Sleepy time. So I'm going to replace the 4 tries here with tries, number of tries, with a variable. Okay, so there we go. Love it. And I think, there's the coloring back. Okay, so let's see. Does this compile or did I make a mistake here? Good chance I made a mistake. This is hard to nail it off the top of your head. apparently I didn't make a mistake. Woohoo! I had a professor in university that would make us clap for him if we ever, or if he compiled code that was live and he did it the first try. Because that's just darn hard when you're talking about it. Okay, so let's see if it works. So I picked a random number, blah, blah, blah. So let's guess, the best choice is, of course, to cut the search space in half with 50. 50 is too high, so it must be lower than 50, so I guess I'll try 25, cutting the search space in half again. Also too high, so I'm going to go with 12.5. I'll round it to 13. Too low, so it's between 14 and 24. So I'm going to guess like 19 or something. 19 is too high, so between 14 and 15. So, your guess. 14, too low. 15, got it. Took me 6 tries. Not bad. Not bad. Feel so proud. Anyways, there you go. That's the outcome of this project, and it does feel like the computer is, playing with you. It's like, got some sort of intelligence to it. But as you can see, it's just simple if statements, really, and a little bit of math. So I hope you understand how this project went, but by no means is that guaranteed after having watched this video. It might, maybe there's just some specific parts of this that you don't know. So do please ask about it in class, and I'd be happy to help you out. So thanks so much, everybody. I really appreciate your hard work and dedication to these projects. I know that they're not easy, so do please, tell me if you still need more help on these. Thanks so much, everyone. We'll see you in class. Bye-bye.